What up? What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Ascension Capitals, man. Tapping back in with another video, and hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, I was trying to get all this set up. OSB, man. I don't know how do y'all use OSB. I was literally having a hard time trying to figure that out. So I'm using Loom now, and my face doesn't look. The camera doesn't look like I'm filming through a toaster. It actually looks pretty good quality through here. So yeah. Anyway. Um, I have another recap for you guys. So this is another episode of Ascension Recap. So this was the trade recap from Friday, December the 20th, which was my last trading day of 2024. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it, shall we? Yeah.
Some magnificent views.
Ancestors smiled on me. Diamonds on my diamond.
All right, so this was pretty much what price was looking like when I got to the charts. As you can see, this was my M15 swing high, and this is my M15 swing low. So pretty much what I was firstly expecting was some sort of retracement back into premium pricing, but I was thinking that price may not give me that pullback. I thought price may give me a small pullback, maybe sweep some of this internal liquidity, and then keep firing to the downside. So my first trade idea was obviously bearish, but after kind of looking over price, I thought, this might be a perfect opportunity for a liquidity hunt model because, as we know, every high and every low, there is liquidity resting there. So this was kind of aligning perfectly for my liquidity hunt model. So in this scenario, this low is being ran. It's a break of structure, but it also is a run on liquidity. So firstly, when this low got broken, this is when I first would have, looked for some lower time frame confirmation once price broke that low, and look for some sort of lower time frame confirmation to take longs up to the upside, only temporarily, because this isn't pro trend. This is definitely a counter trend sort of model. So what I was expecting here was, price to have some sort of shift down here, but obviously this was not in my session. This was around 6:45 when price gave that reversal here and started to rally to the upside. So what I was expecting here was, okay, I can see that we already tapped into some of this liquidity pool up here, but I figured, okay, we still have more liquidity to target, but obviously we've already ran the low. So once this low got ran, I was looking for some sort of shift on the 15 minutes, some kind of internal shift, and I chose to get involved with this high here as my internal shift on the 15 minute. And the reason for that, because if I drop down to a lower time frame, say the 5 minute, actually let's go down even lower to the 4 minute. Okay, I can see that there was a three candle pullback here. So this was the last significant high on the lower time frame. So this is why on the 15-minute time frame, I chose to, label this as my shift in structure. So this was that first indication, like, okay, price could potentially give me a deeper pullback up into, this sort of premium region here. So what I was expecting was price to come back to this point of interest here, which was kind of this lowest point here where price gave that reversal during, kind of pre-New York. So let's mark this out, point of interest. So what I was expecting was price to come back into this zone again. Obviously, the prime time to get in this position would have been here during pre-London when price first broke in this low, but obviously this was outside of my session. So pretty much what I was looking for here was a confirmation on top of a confirmation. So I was waiting for a price to give me some sort of retracement into this point of interest here. So let's play price forward to do what it's doing. Boom, price came down and tapped into this point of interest. So when price got to this point, I was aware that price could essentially blast straight through it. Then if that was the scenario, I would have just not traded at all and let price run, continues to run to the downside. But also I saw the possibility of getting in lower time frame confirmations from the zone to temporarily take price up into premium pricing. So once price tapped into the zone, this is when I dropped down to the lower time frame, because now we are inside of my session hours. This was 9:45 when we first tapped into the zone at 9:30, but we got a deeper retracement at 9:45, and this is when I dropped down to the lower time frame. So I'm dropping down to the 1 minute. Now I want to map out my 1 minute structure, or maybe even scale up to the 2 minute. Let's see what the 2 minute looks like. Well, let's go for 1 in, because that gives paint the picture a little bit more clear. So obviously I'm looking for 1 minute structure. What are the last significant lows and highs? And obviously I see this 3 candle pullback formation here. We have one bullish candle, 2 bullish candle, and 3 bullish candle consecutively succeeding each other, closing back to back. I want to see 3 candles that succeed each other in the opposing direction. So this was the point I wanted to see broken before I was interested in hopping in this market for longs. So if I mark out this eye, because this was the swing point that I was eyeing. So yeah, at this point, I'm just waiting for a body closure above this high to solidify that, okay, sentiment is changing, and this is that first sign that the market is about to change sentiment. So let's play price forward here and see what it does. So putting price forward, we start to get that pullback, getting close to that high, then boosh, we finally get a a bullish close above this high here. So once I see that price closes above this high, this is indeed my change of character, or that first indication that price is changing sentiment. So boosh, you have my change of character here. So now I'm mapping out areas to get into this market. So the first thing that stuck out to me was, okay, obviously I see that this imbalance here was already filled. So anything above this point here would be a green light. So the first thing I saw was whoosh, kind of this high to this low here. So let's map this out. And this was kind of the first area that I had in mind to get into the market. Now, as you can see, price already closed above the high. So now essentially what I was waiting for was some sort of retracement. Now, price is looking kind of funny. Let me see, let me make sure I mapped all of this out correctly here. So putting price forward a bit here, price started to give me that pullback. So this is where initially I didn't have my limit set, because price was kind of acting, price was moving fast in real time, and I didn't have my limit set at this order block, because this is essentially where I would have gotten in if I would have set the limit with a 10-point stop loss and a 3.5 target. But this position kind of differed from the limits that I usually normally set. So once I saw price tap into the zone, as you can see, it gave a nice wick mitigation here. Boosh, tap into that zone. And once I saw price starting to shy away from the zone, I market executed at the break of this candle here. So once price started to show willingness, this is when I set my limit. So price started to break above this high, and this is when I market executed. Whoosh, and I had my stops just below the low of, the candle that caused the the wick mitigation, and I believe it was at 10 points. Well, it says 11 here, so let's just say 11, but I believe it was a 10-point stop loss. And I'm targeting a 3.5, usual target. So price was here, and I'm targeting a 3.5 risk to reward. So bush, as soon as I market executed, price started to fly into profit instantly, and that was nice to see. But there was no real structure for me to really call a break even at the time. So I was keeping my eye out for this gap in the market here. And also I wanted to see some sort of breach of this high. So right now price is running and my risk is still on the table. So price is doing what it's doing. Price is running towards the target, and bush, price eventually closes above my break-even point, and this is the point where I rolled my stop to break even. And yeah, my limit is not too far away, and let's just see what happens. I believe price gives me some significant pullback. Price is doing what it's doing, heading towards target, and then price does one of these. Now, honestly, when price gets into this zone, I'm always kind of like, okay, price may eventually stop me out for break even, but nevertheless, although the break even hurts, I've managed my risk accordingly, and there's essentially nothing being taken off of the table, because usually it's about 2 to 3 points in profit. So it's not necessarily a break even, maybe like a 0.3% gain, 0.03% gain. But nevertheless, at this point, I'm convinced, like, okay, I may get stopped out, but nevertheless, I still am optimistic in letting price do its thing. So price is continuing to run, then we start to rally to the upside again, and eventually consolidating around my target, another deep pullback again, and then eventually, bush, target smashed. So yeah, that was a pretty nice execution, I must say. I wasn't expecting to take a trade on this Friday, because I just thought price may continue, that 15-minute bearish order flow to the downside. But nevertheless, there is always opportunities to get into the market, and that was that from this liquidity hunt model. So yeah, price ended up smashing target 1 to 3.5, and yeah, that was pretty much all she wrote. And pretty much for the long haul, I was price ended up coming a lot deeper and eventually breaching the 50% of this entire range. So that was kind of nice retracement, to kind of catch that reversal. But yeah, that was pretty much the trade idea that I had from Friday. So yeah, guys, that was the last trade of 2024, and yeah, man, done and dusted. So tried to make this pretty quick. Hopefully the video isn't too long, but this was the liquidity hunt model long on crude oil that I taken Friday the 20th. So yeah, guys, maybe I'll keep rising, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So peace for now.